Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
Record breaker.
Number 71.
History maker.
660 out of here.
7-time
National League
MVP.
Makes the catch. Bonds. He hits it high and deep.
all-time home run leader.
756.
Some of the greatest players that ever played in the game have played for the Giants. Barry's obviously in that company. It wouldn't be really a complete wall without him on it.
Well, welcome today, and thank you for coming. And we hope today is a long list of events that celebrate the career of what we think is one of the greatest baseball players to ever put on a uniform.
As crazy as this sounds, his plaque will be the same size as everybody else, and we know that his career was that much bigger, and his effect on the franchise and what he did for every team that he was on was, bigger than life.
To me, as a player, he's, I don't know, indescribable.
He knows the city loves him. He knows the people, the fans love him.
Incredible to watch a player who loved playing and who was just heads and shoulders above everybody else.
I think one word is amazing. That's all he is. He brings life to the team or to the city.
We were the ones that got to enjoy all the things that he did on the field. And that is, again, why we're here today, to celebrate the genius that was Barry Bonds as a player. There are rules to get on the Wall of Fame, so you should know that. To qualify for the Giants Wall of Fame, a player must be retired. His records must stand among his teammates on a basis of longevity and achievements. And those honors have played a minimum of 9 seasons for the Giants, or 5 seasons with at least 1 All-Star selection as a Giant.
Barry exceeds these with, by long distances. Barry be the first to tell you that it's important for him to be up there in a grouping of great Giants.
On July 8th, 2017, friends, family, legends, and fans gathered to celebrate the induction of Barry Bonds to the San Francisco Giants Wall of Fame.
Things like this, I know personally really humble him because he is a Giant at heart. He knows how appreciative our fans have been. He's a San Franciscan, so it doesn't come better than that.
I think there was never a question he was going on there. He did some incredible things for the organization, and I think anybody in the organization, if you asked them about Barry, you would not have the sellout crowds and the crazy media that you had if Barry Bonds hadn't played in San Francisco.
And he reminds us every day that he made us as broadcasters. He built the ballpark. And quite honestly, we can't argue with that.
Thank you for coming. Bob Quinn, Larry Baer, Walter Shorenstein, and I all wanted to invite the local media here to meet our newest Giant, last year's most valuable player, Barry Bonds. Welcome home, Barry.
It would be a great honor for me to wear this number. And I want to thank the Giants organization again, San Francisco City, the fans. It's going to be great for me to give a lot back to the community that I once grew up in and that my kids are going to have the opportunity to grow up in.
The Giants have been around for 135 years in New York and San Francisco. This is also our 60th year in San Francisco, but that was in jeopardy. That was in jeopardy in 1992. The thought of the Giants moving, which we almost did, to Tampa was unthinkable. And in 92, things were looking bleak. So we're putting together this last-minute drive to buy the team, and it was looking good, and we're in October, November of '92. In acquiring the team, we wanted to get off to a fast start, and we wanted to rebrand the team and sort of recast the team in everybody's minds, and there was one way to do that.
We felt the odds were very long, but it was worth a try.
I've known him since he was born. He was supposed to be a Giant. You know, he came up with the Giants. I mean, it was his dad, and Willie, and Juan, and the rest of them.
I think if you polled baseball people at the winning meetings that year in Louisville, perhaps one of the last places you think Barry would end up going would be to San Francisco. As it turned out, it was a record contract. It literally changed, you know, our path in history and his career.
When first raising the prospects with him of returning to the organization of his father and of his godfather and of his family, he broke down on the phone and said that if that's possible, you don't know how meaningful that would be to me. And that was the beginning of Barry Bonds' return.
I will never forget how the news that Barry would become a Giant, the best baseball player of his generation, and maybe one of the 5 best of all time, how that news electrified the community. This coming just days after the Giants were not moving to Florida, but would stay where they belong, in San Francisco.
And I'll never forget that first at bat in Candlestick. Place is just screaming, 56,000 people there. Beautiful day. Baseball still in San Francisco. Barry Bonds is on the team. First time up, home run.
That one's high, deep right field. This has a chance. Gone, home run, Barry Bonds.
Barry helped us reestablish ourselves. Barry made it clear that he was going to be every bit the superstar that we had hoped when we signed him.
Bonds hits one high and deep to left field. Home run number 300 for Barry Bonds. And he hits one high to right. Bonds, he hits it hard and deep. And listen to this crowd. Upper deck.
I think as you look at what was really critical, which was to be able to keep the Giants in San Francisco and get a ballpark built, Barry had a big role in that. Hard to say there were any more important pieces than Barry Bonds.
We have developed a responsive and highly innovative plan for a privately financed ballpark at China Basin.
Things are looking very, very great, and so I just want to commend the people that are in charge of building this stadium and tell them we're as excited as they are.
With the signature player in baseball and the city's support, the Giants launched into a new era, a new home, 24 Willie Mays Plaza.
The Giants take the field for the first time in their new downtown home. Wow. Left field, number 25, Barry Bonds.
He was a major factor in our efforts to win a vote by San Franciscans to support a privately financed ballpark. That, in my opinion, ends the question that has been raised over the years. Will the Giants leave San Francisco? And the answer to that is a resounding no, not ever.
And he hits one high. He hits one deep. McCovey called. Out of here.
thing you think of when you hear the name Barry Bonds?
Home run king.
Hits it hard. Hits it deep. Out of
here. Barry was the only guy I would have actually paid to see hit.
When Barry was playing, it was a must-see event.
Swing a long one. We are going home out of here.
Aside from his collection of Gold Gloves, Silver Sluggers, and MVP awards, number 25 wasn't just an incredible ball player. He was an entertainer.
Number 700 for Barry Bonds.
I want to thank Barry for giving me a front row seat for 10 years to watch the best player I've ever seen and basically watch it from a couple feet away.
There's a high drive deep into right center field to the big part of the ballpark. Number 71, and what a shot over the 420-run hard marker.
Fans want to see the team win, but if they didn't win, they got a chance to see history every night.
You wouldn't be going to get a hot dog or go to the bathroom if you thought Barry was going to be hitting that inning.
The anticipation, the nerves, the stress of like 40,000 people in the stadium was palpable. Just the energy of those fans, you could feel, everybody could feel it.
The pitch. Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep to center. Out of here. 750. And they are on their feet here at AT&T Park.
It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's like we're all doing it together. And nothing makes me more happier than doing it here in front of them.
Shallow left center. Bonds got a late break. Makes the catch. He's going to be out at the plate.
Unbelievable.
A lot of guys have 5.2s. He had the same thing I had, was 6, which was thinking about on the plate, thinking about in the outfield, thinking about running the bases, thinking about stats. Even though he was playing, he thought about all that kind of stuff.
If that man's talking, I'd be listening too. Oh, me too. I'd like to be listening right now.
I didn't see from when I was on visiting teams, I thought the same thing. Oh, the guy's just a stud. He's got unbelievable God-given ability. And he does, but he still watched. And one stories I remember is he told me, hey, watch, I know what this guy's going to throw me the next time. I know he's gonna start me out with a curveball away, then he'll throw a fastball, then he's gonna throw another curveball. When he throws that other curveball, I'm gonna hit it out. And he did it.
Hits it hard!
He was clearly the most feared hitter in the game. Other teams did everything they could to avoid pitching to him.
This is the ultimate intentional walk with the bases loaded. Barry Bonds walks to drive in a run.
What do you think they're going to do with Bonds?
I think we'll see some chickens.
In 2004, he was intentionally walked 120 times. The previous non-Bonds record was 45, set by Willie McCovey. To hit as well as he did, despite all these walks, is truly remarkable.
What was amazing about him is he didn't get too many good pitches to hit. But when he got a good pitch, he didn't miss it.
Fan a drive! Left center field! This one is over!
Happy birthday, Barry Bonds.
The easiest way to get recognized as a broadcaster is to call home runs.
Bonds hits one high. He hits it deep, and we are going home. Bonds hits one a mile. This one it is way back. It is out of here. A big potato. Bonds down the line. Hits it well. Look it up. It is out of here. We're going home.
For all of us that have had the great privilege of broadcasting for the Giants, he certainly did indeed help put us on the map by hitting as many home runs as he did, and forever I'll be grateful for that, and so are all of us.
Deep to right field. This one is on its way to becoming home. Number 500. It's into the water. Unbelievable. It's a home and deep and out. 661. And Bassick deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone. What a special moment for Barry Bonds. And what a special moment for these fans here in San Francisco.
Even as a child, I remember how dedicated people were to the Giants. When you have a city that is based on loyalty, and it's always been that way. Once in San Francisco, always in San Francisco. Once you're in, you're in. Once you're family, you're family. We love for life.
Just growing up here in San Francisco with my family and the tradition of our community and the city, and I've always made this statement because people say, how are your fans in San Francisco? I said, I never had any fans. I've always had family because I was raised here.
We were Giants fans, and since we were little boys, that's all we knew when we were little kids. We never knew any other team. My dad was there, we were growing up, that we didn't know any other team except the Giants.
I can never thank Peter and Larry and this organization enough for bringing me back home. Larry and Peter and Harmon, an organization, said, we'd like to sign you back here in San Francisco, and we're going to have your dad be the hitting coach, and Dusty Shake and Bake's going to come back and manage the team, and we're going to bring the whole tradition of this history of San Francisco back. And truthfully, I didn't even know what the contract was. I was just like, I'm going home. I'm going to go home. This is where I belong. This is my family.
This is where we started, and Barry was happy to be back home. It was just great that we could be a Giant family again.
I just want to thank you guys so much for giving me that opportunity to be able to entertain a city that has embraced me and my family for so many years. And I want to thank my children. We've gone full circle, guys. I always tell you, never leave home. There's no place like home. And I tell my kids, they wanted to go venture off, and I'm like, no, you're not. You're staying right here. But I want to thank my intimate family, my mom, for being the backbone, the strength. My dad kind of schooled me in the game, but my mom kept the glue together. And if it wasn't for my mom and encouraging me every day to go to practice and not be lazy, and my dad was always working. So thank you, Mom, for installing that into me. All of you guys have made my dream come true. I can never thank you guys enough for your loyalty to me and my family, your loyalty to this organization.
2, 1.
A name synonymous with home runs. A kid who was destined to be a giant.
And there's no doubt that this is home.
A career that transformed a city. Barry Bonds. Forever Giant.